Just a beautiful song there to introduce my first guest of the program. 2016 marks the 5th Go. It's the Go Show reunion, and the show will feature many, many songs of guys such as Johnny O'Keefe. No, he won't be there in person, no. Normie Rowe is, though. Ronnie Burns, Doug Parkinson will be there. Izzy Dye, The Groove. Johnny Young will be there. And my special guest is online right now, Samantha Sang. Samantha, nice to have you with us today on our program.
Nice to speak to you, Lee.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Lovely to catch up with you. Gee, I was broadcasting way back in the 1970s, and your songs were around in the 60s and 70s, and goodness, time has gone by so quickly from when you first started out at the age of 8.
That's right.
On radio.
Yeah. That's right.
Was that the old 3UZ or 3DB days?
It was, that was ABC.
ABC, yeah.
My mum was doing a show because my parents, you would know, are singers, and very well known. And she was doing her show, and as little 8-year-olds, you know, they get a bit restless and that. And she said, oh, go on the mic. You know, the mic's not on. And have a little sing-song. I had a little sing-song, and she didn't know the producer had turned on the mic.
Oh.
And he's listening, and he said, Joan, I've got to put that kid on the show this afternoon, which was me. So that was the start of it all.
That was the start. Well, what a start that was, because you went on from there to become a regular with Graham Kennedy, didn't you, in IMT?
Yeah. Yes, I did Graham's. They would only let me do it once in my term holidays.
Oh,
you know?
Because of schooling, of course.
That's right, with all that. They didn't really encourage it, even though Dad had the Channel 9 singing school.
Ah, of course he did, yes, that's right.
He had the 9 singing school.
Yes.
And then, from then, I ended up recording, linked up with Cliff Baxter, heard me. Mm-hmm. And then by the age of 14 and a half, I was recording. And then I had my first number one record, which everybody, I think, would know out there in that era, You Made Me What I Am.
That's right, yeah.
So I had a big career there.
And at the age of 16, quite a way to travel, so you went off to England to be part of the 60s revolution over there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's where I met up with Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees. And he wrote me a song there called Love of a Woman.
Yes.
Because he introduced me to, actually, it was a cute, have we got time?
Yeah, plenty of time.
It was a cute little story that, strange little story that, a friend of mine was over there, and he said, do you mind if I play your record, You Made Me What I Am? I'm going to see Barry Gibb tonight. And Linda, he was friends with us. And we said no. And he played it, and then 2 o'clock in the morning, Dad gets a call, because Mum and Dad were over there in England. And he said, hello, it's Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees.
Oh, gee.
He said, I love your daughter. She's absolutely fantastic. I want to introduce her to my manager, Robert Stigwood.
Wow.
Now, Robert Stigwood produced Hair, Superstar, you know, absolutely huge. So to make a long story short, I went and sang to Love Somebody, which I will never forget, in the studio with Barry. He just on the guitar and me. Barry, actually, Robert came in, and all the hierarchy, they wanted to see if the voice was true. And he ended up signing me to a 5-year contract, which he's never ever... Robert's just recently died.
Yes.
Too, and he signed me to a 5-year contract. And we were releasing The Love of a Woman, which he ended up writing for me, specially for me, which I'm actually going to do in the show. And we had a lot of visa problems. I came in on the wrong visa, so we had to leave the country.
Oh, my goodness.
So that ruined that.
What could have been a career over there, yeah. You had a similar thing, didn't you? You were offered a job with Sammy Davis Jr. in the States, weren't you?
That's right. Look, a lot happened. Yeah. I mean, I did all the shows over there. I ended up I came back, and I did the first colour television special at Channel 10, Samantha Sang and Rocked the World, to which ended up being my manager, Bill May, walked in. He said, I've got to take you back overseas. So he was a very eccentric character. And we did the impossible. We flew to Paris, where Barry and Robin and that were recording Saturday Night Fever. And I'll never forget it. I walked into the studio, or the home actually they had there, and I heard Night Fever, More Than a Woman, all the songs that they had made were going to make famous because they hadn't released it. And he said, Sam, I really owe it to it. They're all the whole thing that went wrong in America and England and that. Because over there at that time, I was virtually sent home, and I got the Johnny Carson show.
That's right.
That was in America. It's such a long career. It's hard to remember it all. Anyway, Barry said, I've got 2 songs here for you. Our Love, Don't Throw It All Away, or Emotion. So he played both, and I said, Emotion, the one.
Beautiful song.
And it is, you've got no idea. It's played all the time in America, Europe, everywhere. We get emails all the time from the young generation that still love it. So when I'm long and gone, my legacy's going to be left on
Emotion.
with Emotion.
Well, that was 1977, wasn't it?
That's right, 78.
Emotion, yeah. Look, a fantastic career there. How did you feel as a 16-year-old, though, going across to England and meeting these very famous people? Were you aware that they were so famous at that stage? Or
of course, I had such a musical background, Lee, that, I had all the experience.
Yeah.
And I remember I was a favourite of Merv Griffin. Merv actually loved my big belting voice and all that. You've heard of Merv Griffin?
My word, I have.
He's passed away too. But he wanted me to come down to Caesar's Palace to do the show down there. And there was Ava Gabor and Tony Curtis, who I met. So I work with people like, those people, Tina Turner. She was just gorgeous. She was so down to earth, beautiful. Dr. Hook, I was with the press agent that had Blondie and Gene Simmons and, Seals and Crofts and, it didn't perturb me, I think, because I was brought up very down to earth and show business was always around me.
In the bloodstream, isn't it? Mm.
Well, it was the DNA.
That's right.
And, so it didn't really perturb me, one thing. I was sort of ready for it in that way. And working with Barry was just absolutely a delight. It was just incredible. And a great thrill which happened to me about a year and a half ago. Management rang from the Gibbs, or not the Gibbs, he'd lost actually Morris and Robin, and he was the last man standing. And he was coming out here to do Rod Laver Arima, and he wanted to see me. He was coming out with Linda, his wife, who was very good friends of mine. And so I took my son, my 32-year-old son, Mark, who's very proud of me but has never seen me in my celebrity doing the shows. Well, I walked in there, and it was only family. There was no press there. He didn't have any press there. He just had the family and all that. He walked in, and he went, Sam, and put his arms around me, and it was just a beautiful reunion.
Isn't that lovely?
And I introduced my son, and he said, you know what, Barry, said, my mother never thought this day would come again.
There you are.
So it was just beautiful, It was just a great reunion, and he said, I went on the couch. I just sat on the couch when Robin died, and I just didn't get up. And Linda said to me, come on, get up and do what you do best.
Very, very sad times, weren't they?
Yes.
Very sad indeed. And that must have left a mark on you as well, having known the boys.
Well, absolutely, because I knew them very well on that. And I'd gone through, I knew exactly what he meant, because in 2010, I remarried in 2005, and I'd hung up my boots because, I'd climbed my mountain, and I met the most wonderful man, ended up living with him and then marrying him in 2005. And he passed away with liver and lung cancer in 2010. He never drank. He was a big businessman. He never smoked. He never, he was a health fanatic.
It's often the way, Samantha, isn't it? You don't have to be a smoker and that. It doesn't have any boundaries, this thing called C. It really doesn't.
The incredible thing is, to the day he died, I went down to about size 6. I just couldn't believe that later in my life I'd finally met the person that everybody went, wow, this is great. Then my manager, Bill May, you might know Bill May, William May, he died on the New Year's Eve.
Goodness.
And then Ted Dunn, who'd been my producer for so many years and friend and everything, he died too. So I just went to grief.
Now listen, you and I got to brighten this up, don't we? We don't want to go that way.
No. So no.
Oh, look, you've got some wonderful stories there. You really have.
Yeah, I have. And then when Dennis Smith came to me last year and said, he said, would you like to do the Go Show? And I thought, I haven't seen everybody for years. So I'm making a return.
That's wonderful. And you're doing that on the 30th.
That's right.
It's the Palais. So it's Saturday week at the Palais, and you can book at Ticketmaster 1361.
You can. Everybody go. It's going to be a wonderful show.
Samantha, you're a delight to talk to, a lovely lady, and I'm going to try and get down there and have a look and see what that's all about and see you back on the stage again.
You do that, Lee.
Yeah, love to.
I'd love to see you after the show.
Thank you very much. Take care, my friend.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye to you. The lovely Samantha sang there.